Okay, start. Can you tell us how do you get into a teaching career at the University of Southern California, and what do you enjoy most?
Well, I happened to come to the University of Southern California. It wasn't planned, because when we started our retirement, my wife and I retired just about the same time, and we just do things that retired people do. I got a call from a very good friend of mine. His name was Jim Nelson. He's still a very good friend of mine. And he said he had a call to teach sound at University of Southern California, but he didn't feel like he was qualified, and he said I was probably more qualified than him if I wanted to go down and interview. So I came down here, and I was interested, and it was only for 1 semester to fill in, and I took the job, and I started teaching at that point. I had no idea what I was going to teach. They handed me a piece of paper and said that this is your syllabus, and it's an intermediate class for sound, and so I started teaching then. It wasn't until I got into it that I really realized how much I enjoyed it. And there was a connection there between me and the students, and I had something to offer them because I had a lot of experience in the area that they're looking for. So now it's been, I think, my 16th year from that very first temporary class that I started.
Do you have a mentor some special students, a graduate student, or not just teaching class?
Yes, I handle the graduate MFA program for a master's degree, and I do that with students on an individual basis who are looking not to get a degree in directing or cinematography, but in sound. And I handle those students for a year.
How many of them do you have?
Well, it's not important, but it's usually just maybe 2 at the most, sometimes 3, and sometimes just 1. So,
how many of them are Chinese?
At this point, let's see, I think 2 are Chinese, and the one that you met today is my student for this semester. And but they're really devoted. They're devoted to sound, and that's what they want to meet. And it's the students that are over here from mainland China, actually, who are more interested in sound than the people that are in the United States to begin with. But I have quite a few Asian people that come through.
Do they all go out and get a job in the sound editing?
Sound editing or sound recording or sound mixing, whatever,
yes.
Whatever they can. And it's not an easy position if they stay here, because if they're foreign students here, you know, they have to work here for a year. But they usually return home, and they do all right, because in Taiwan, I have quite a few Taiwan students, and in mainland China, the business is just starting to move ahead, and their training is invaluable.
Now, Hollywood movies dominate the whole world, so you are being part of it. I mean, to us, it's incredibly contribution from ethnic Chinese to mainline cinema. How do you view it? Do you view it that way, or yourself?
Well, you know, that's true what you ask, except that our relationship with our industry relationship with China is still on a quota system. I think when I was in China back in the late 90s, you know, we were only able to bring in maybe 4 or 5 films, and that was, of course, determined by the government. But now they're starting to bring in more. I think we can bring in maybe 19, 20 films. That's why you see so many co-production deals with Chinese companies and American companies, because if they're made by a Chinese company or partly made by a Chinese company, they can run their films in China.
So your training of this group of people going back to Taiwan and China is an incredible start for them, right? Because they get the best training from here.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you say USC is the best school for a movie? Really?
I think for what we do,
Yes.
writing and producing and production of a film from beginning to end, I think we are probably the best. Because there's only, I don't know of any other school in the country here that actually emphasizes sound as much as we do. And it's something that the students don't know when they start here. We have a complete sound department, and they're exposed to it. But we don't say, you know, we have this and we have that. And it's the same with camera, and the same with every other department. So whichever direction that they want to go into, it's available for them.
So you really encourage more people from overseas Chinese to come study here in your field?
No, not necessarily. I don't know how it's handled over there, but I think word of mouth of students who have come through here, what's available, and also being on the West Coast, and just that a lot of people from China have been here, I think it just creates momentum. And I think from what I understand, there are firms or companies over there that actually recommend different colleges for different studies to the Chinese, and because I hear about them quite often.
Now, from the sound checking, do you find the students, some just have more talent than others, they just know what to make up and then use the technique wherever they learn, or it's more inborn, or you can actually teach them too?
It's actually both. Because, you know, anything that's in the motion picture business now, whether it's camera work or sound work, it's highly technical and it's highly creative. We have people who are only creative, not too strong technically, and we have people who are extremely strong technically but not creative. If you can find the individual that has both qualities, then you have a winner there. But it doesn't mean that they can't do the job, because people who are highly technical are also sought after, and people who are creative sought after for their talents.
So would you think that what you are doing has a great influence on the future China, especially starting up on this technical side of the movie picture?
I think we do have an influence for people who come here and go through our cinema school, because most of our students that are over here now have taken cinema courses, television courses in China. And they have graduated, they have degrees. And they come over here to actually top off or finalize their education. Because I think they have a sense at this point that they still need to come over to where the industry is, which is over here in the United States and in Hollywood basically, that they find out how the business really runs, and it's the latest equipment, it's the latest techniques. So.